Why don't I'll just start with my impression of RFK Jr. I think that a lot of people doing it and they're like, they're not doing it right. You know what I mean? I've studied RFK Jr. a lot. So I'll do my impression of him first. So that's RFK Jr. If you guys ever heard him, you'd be like, yeah, that's about right.
Prevalence at an alarming rate. The study tests 8-year-olds who were born in 2014.
He has a brainworm. He does have a brainworm. He has a dead worm living in his head. And some people talk about that, but like, we should be talking about that more. We shouldn't be taking medical advice or the guy running the FDA, any sort of government position shouldn't have a dead worm in their brain. And I don't think it's dead. I think it's doing some stuff. You know what I mean? I think it's like Ratatouille. You know what I mean? Oh, Ratatouille was in the guy's hat, making him fuck that girl real well or whatever. How was that movie? He like helped him have sex or something, right? Was that a different film? Anyway, the rat was controlling the guy. And I think that's what Robert F. K. Jr.'s brainworm is doing to him. I don't even know how to start this video. Do you want to just watch a video of him? Here we go. This is him. There's RFK Jr. Look at him.
Jr. and I'm running as an independent candidate for President of the United States. I grew up in an America that seemed to have achieved.
I was so spot on with my impression of him. Oh my God. And like listening to him talk for more than like, I'd say 2 nanoseconds, it starts making you feel like you need to clear your throat or like you need to like, it makes me want to like bop him on the head and see if the words come out better. You know what I mean? Where he's just like, anyway, what I'm saying is you should drink raw milk and you should drink raw sewage and it'll make you stronger as a human being or whatever nonsense he says.
Modern democracy had spread from one nation, ours, in 1776 to 6 by 1865 and to 190 by the 1960s. We had become the city on the hill.
You know what? I can't vote for Trump anymore, but this RFK guy, he's got it figured out. Is like this guy, the guy looks like a fried testicle and he sounds like a car muffler that needs to be fixed. Fuck that. I would say those people are dumber than the Trump supporters now, but they're all one and the same now. Anybody that was going to vote for RFK Jr. and then Trump convinced him to drop out saying, I'll put you in front of the country's health. That's what he said when Trump told him he's going to be in charge of health for the country. That means, yes, I want to do that, Donald Trump. Like this guy is in charge of our health. He looks like a fucking, I don't know, Toxic Avenger. You see one eye's like down here? I'll put up a picture of Toxic Avenger right here, the original. One eye's droopy. I'm just going to do that the whole video because like I can't stand listening to this guy. He's and also, I'll get into it, but like, why are we left with this Kennedy? Really? We couldn't find a different Kennedy? They all died. All the good ones died. And we'll get into this part too. He might have murdered his wife. He may have allegedly, possibly, I think, may have murdered his wife. If there is a heaven and his dad's looking down on him, you think his fucking dad is proud of him? His dad was like one of the key figures in the civil rights movement. Bobby Kennedy Sr. was a key fucking figure in the civil rights movement. Like literally, there's pictures of him with MLK together and shit, trying to figure out how to get blacks and whites to coexist and stuff. And what's this guy trying to do? Get you to put raw milk in your cereal and fucking take away fluoride so your teeth rot out? What are you doing? You know how many like real issues there are? He's trying to take fluoride out of our water? Fucking hell. There's actual statistics of like how much healthier people are now that once fluoride was in the water, we saw like a drastic change of people losing their teeth and getting gum disease. This guy comes in. People like, he's right. He's right, you know. You should listen to him more. Oh, his whole family hates him too. Okay, multiple members, this is from NBC News. Members of Kennedy's family denounce RFK Jr.'s decision to endorse Trump. We want an America filled with hope and bound together by a shared vision of a brighter future, a future defined by individual freedom, economic promise, and national pride, said a statement signed by 5 of the former independent presidential candidate's siblings. We believe in Harrison Waltz. Our brother Bobby's decision to endorse Trump today is a betrayal of the values that our father and our family hold most dear. It's a sad ending to a story. Did you hear that, Bobby? Did you hear that? Your dad would be so mad at you. And not only your dad, your uncle, who got shot in the head before your dad, would be looking at you and being like, you are a disgrace. He'd be like, get that worm out of your head. Figure out your shit, son. Caroline Kennedy slams RFK Jr. as a predator. There we go.
And coming on the heels of Robert Kennedy Jr.'s confirmation hearing tomorrow.
Hold on.
He looks evil.
Look at that evil looking piece of shit. Look at him. He looks, you know what he looks like? He's like the human equivalent of a gas station dick pill. That's what he is. Look at him. He looks like a fried testicle.
Of Kennedy Jr., Caroline Kennedy speaking out against the nomination, calling her cousin a predator and urging the Senate to reject his nomination.
I've known Bobby my whole life. We grew up together. It's no surprise that he keeps birds of prey as pets, because Bobby himself is a predator. I urge the Senate to reject his nomination.
Joining me now, White House correspondent Mary Alice Parks.
Why are you cutting her off? Why is he a predator? What did he predate? Is that it? Why is he a predator? What is he predating? Oh my God! Imagine if your family comes out and calls you a predator. Like, that opens up so many more. What are you a predator for? What did you do? What are you doing? He's trying to eat people now, probably? You think he's a cannibal too? I wouldn't put it past him. He's drinking raw. You want to see videos of him drinking raw milk? The guy's the head of our fucking health department. You want to see him drink raw milk? Let's do it. If you drink raw milk, you're an idiot. You're fucking dumb. That's all I have to say. You shouldn't drink raw milk. There's a reason why we heat it up. Just to get rid of fucking bacteria, especially with like bird flu going around and shit like that. He doesn't believe in any of that, right? He doesn't believe in fucking bird flu. You tell him about bird flu, he'll just, okay, Bobby, whatever, dude. You don't even listen. Do his kids even like listen to him? Or like he's like a grandfather now, probably. And it's like, imagine like when you were a kid and like your grandfather told you some stories and sometimes you'd trail off and you'd be like, okay, well, Grandpa, I'll just pretend to listen and I'll look out the window while he's driving me to where we need to go. Oh, that's great. A piece of candy, a piece of old person candy. Cool. That'll kill 30 seconds of the story for me. But imagine Bobby talking to him and you're just, the little kid's like, oh, dude, my grandfather has to put himself down. You know, my grandfather has a dead worm in his brain. It's controlling him. It's telling him to say stupid shit. Oh, look at this. This is the head of our health department saying that lawmakers shouldn't take medical advice from him.
Something that might be helpful is you've previously said you've vaccinated your children. Just because I think this is a helpful answer, and this isn't a gotcha, I promise.
He's against vaccines and he vaccinated his children. That's like kicking the ladder up after like you get off the thing. I just got mine. I got mine. Get out of here. And then he's going to like investigate if he gives them autism. Vaccines don't even give people autism. You know what gives people autism? Fucking Disney movies and like My Little Pony and anime. Why don't you investigate anime, Robert F. Kennedy Jr.? Why are you investigating fucking vaccines?
For measles, probably for measles, what I would say is my opinions about vaccines are irrelevant. I have directed Jay Bhattacharya.
Sure. No, like I said, I don't want to.
So that everybody can make that decision. But I don't want to seem like I'm being evasive.
Yeah.
That's great. That's great. That's one of the biggest moves you can do. You realize, I don't want to seem like I'm being evasive and then be evasive right afterwards. I don't want to seem like I'm being evasive, but people shouldn't listen to me. People shouldn't listen to him ever. Was he going to say ever after that sentence? Because really, if you listen to him for too long, you start getting fucking brain cancer. Not from the stupid shit he says, from the voice.
I don't want to seem like I'm being evasive.
Yeah.
But I don't think people should be taking medical advice from me.
Right. No, I got that. And I'm not asking you to give them medical advice, but would you vaccinate your child for measles?
If I answer that question directly, that it will seem like I'm giving advice to other people, and I don't want to be doing that.
Okay, it fucking says Health and Human Services right under his goddamn name. I don't want to be giving health advice to other people. What are you talking about? Your job is to give health advice to people. You're supposed to be saving us from health issues. And he's like, for measles, did he even answer that? Is he going to give a measles vaccine to his kid? Because I'm pretty sure in Texas where they had the measles stuff, he said like there's like essential oils. What did he say in Texas? In a visit to Texas, RFK Jr. said autism, diabetes, and deserve more attention than measles. But you're going to give your kids a measles vaccine? He was evading the question. He says he doesn't want to be evasive. Also, he could just say his throat hurts. If you don't want to answer the question, just be like, my throat hurts really bad. You're like, okay, RFK. We only have 5 minutes of talking before it takes too much out of him. When I was a kid, there were 2 million measles cases a year and nobody wrote about them. People were dying of the measles when you were a kid, Robert. That's like saying like, what was the polio wasn't an issue. There's still like a dude in an iron lung from polio. We're so far removed, and this is why like Trump wins too. We're so fucking far removed from like the bad times that people forget how bad it really was. Like World War II, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. knows nothing about World War II, so he's siding with the fascists. You know what I mean? Polio, measles. This motherfucker doesn't remember anybody getting measles, so he thinks, dude, nobody actually got hurt from measles. That's it. Like you're like, no, it was bad. That's why we have you're like raw milk. That's really, there were tons of people dying from milk before we fucking learned pasteurization. And it was from Louis Pasteur. That's who created it. Some French guy, Louis Pasteur. He created it. And before that, people were just dying from drinking milk. And it's not like, and these people say like, there's health benefits for fucking drinking raw milk. It's like, there's like insane. First of all, there's no fucking evidence for that. I don't give a shit what anybody says. There's no evidence for that. Second of all, like we do it to kill bad bacteria. So like if there's a disease or some sort of bad virus in your fucking milk, if you don't pasteurize it, you don't cook it off, it's in there. You're going to drink it. You're just going to trust that, oh, that's fine. It's a health secretary, everybody. Look at that. Head of Health and Human Services. Okay, Jr. raw milk. There's a funny story about the raw milk with him, though. He, so this guy, like basically the people were like kind of clamping down in California on raw milk, and this guy that runs a raw milk farm that RFK Jr. goes to buy his shitty ass disease-filled raw milk, went to him, was like, hey, like this is getting really bad. Like I might be losing money. I'm kind of scared. And RFK told him like, oh, go apply for an FDA position. Why would you tell him that?
The CEO and founder of a Fresno County dairy at the center of a raw milk recall could soon become a health advisor to the Trump administration. Today, Mark McAfee could
also, yeah, I don't want anybody in a government position with a shitty ass webcam fucking running any government position. This shit's from like 2007 or something. No. 2011 maybe. You don't get to do that. You can't even get the lighting right. How are you going to run the country? You can't even get the lighting right.
confirmed to Action News he has applied for an advisory role at the Food and Drug Administration at the urging of Robert F. Kennedy Jr.
Also, you know, with the raw milk, you know what they do with the cows beforehand? Like, they basically put human cum inside the cows. Like, they have sex with the cows before they get the raw, because they think that adds to the raw milk or whatever. That's what they do. Don't look at me like that. That's what they do. That's what Robert F. Kennedy drinks from cows that have like guy cum in it, like human guy cum. He's sick. He's sick. I read that on the internet. It's true. I read it on the internet. That's what Robert F. Kennedy says. He says that he read all these things. I read that. This is pretty funny. That this guy is in charge of, the healthy United States. And this is from BuzzFeed. RFK Jr. basically swam in a swilled. He's probably swilled too. He probably drank a bunch of it too. He swam in a bacteria and E. coli lake. Pretty much, it's just filled with garbage. Where it's like the State Department says don't swim in it. Watch this. Well, over Mother's Day weekend, RFK Jr. posted on Twitter, known as X, that's Twitter, about getting on a hike with his family, which included swimming in Rock Creek in Washington, D.C. And commenters immediately began to point out that the water wasn't safe for swimming. People said, "You swam in Rock Creek? Better decontaminate." This guy said the National Park Service forbids swimming in Rock Creek due to high bacteria levels. And indeed, the National Park Service says Rock Creek is on its website. Swimming and wading are not allowed due to high bacteria levels. Stay out of the water to protect stream banks and plants and animals and keep you and your family safe. So it's not even about you. It's about like getting out and spreading that shit to other things. And this fucking idiot goes in there on Mother's Day weekend. Is he trying to kill his fucking other wife? Was she there too? Yeah, she was there. Anyway, he says, I'll read it for you. So in Robert F. K's. And then they're in the creek. Oh yeah, his kid. Yeah, one of his kids' name is Amaryllis Bobby. So there's a Bobby the third. Kick and Jackson. So he named one of his kids after the streaming service that all the right wingers are on. Kick.
Maybe. And then grandchildren, Bobcat and Cassius.
Yeah. Wait, Bobcat? Wait, your kid's named. So his kids do have autism. Wait, they got vaccinated, right? Well, he might be onto something. They named his kids named their kids Bobcat and Cassius. What the fuck is wrong with that? Dude, also, how much money do you have, Robert FK Jr.? Like, you don't need to swim in the bacteria lake. You could go anywhere else. Well, is this for a bit? Is this to be like, see, I didn't get sick? And it's like, you sound like you have fucking throat cancer. So there they are swimming. Look at him. He's all red. It looks like he looks like a fresh lobster coming out of the boiler. Look at that. Oh, he's underwater. There it is. Happy Mother's Day. Here comes some more E. coli. Yeah, and everybody just had fun with that. So that's our head of health, everybody. So he don't give a fuck. He don't give a fuck about even his health. Even his kids, he takes his grandchildren to that too. You want to just talk about him possibly killing his wife now? You want to do that? Yeah, he might have killed his wife. Yeah. That's something. And we don't even have to go that far. You can just go to Wikipedia for this one. I didn't even know that. I was like, wait, RFK, I don't know much about him. He might have killed his wife. Anybody? When Theo Vaughn and Joe Rogan have him on, they're not going to ask him, did you kill your wife? That's my first question. Watch this. RFK Jr. Wife. Dead. There we go. Mary Kathleen Richardson. That's a lot of names. Mary Kathleen Richardson Kennedy. She was an American interior designer and philanthropist. Her 2010 legal separation from her husband, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., was highly publicized. Her suicide in 2012 also received national media attention because Robert may have killed her. Allegedly may have killed her. I'm not saying he did. I'm just saying that he may have. He possibly did it. Just like vaccines possibly cause autism, right? Right? We can just do that now. We can just say things. I have more proof that he may have killed his wife than vaccines causing autism, though. What? On April 15, 1994, Richardson married Robert F. Kennedy Jr. That's the same year Speed came out. She married Robert F. Kennedy Jr., the brother of her close friend, Carrie Kennedy. Oh, poor Carrie. Aboard a research vessel on the Hudson River. They had 4 children, Connor, Kyra, Aiden, and William. During their marriage, Kennedy was widely regarded as a serial philanderer and was known among his friends for sending explicit nude photos of women that they presumed he had taken, according to Vanity Fair. Wait a minute. If this is 1994 or like 1990s, how are you sending those photos? Are you mailing those photos? Oh, was this around 2012 when he may have killed her? He was sending those photos. This is in the 2000s? Even the 2000s, early 2000s, it was hard to send photos like that. He sends his like the fucking mangled ass red penis, his little lobster penis to women with a fucking Kodak photo. Is that what you're doing, Robert? Yeah. Anyway, the highly publicized allegations of sexual assault against Kennedy by the family's then babysitter Eliza Cooney allegedly took place during this period. Ooh, Robert F. Kennedy may have raped his babysitter. Robert F. Kennedy may be a rapist. Huh? You may be a rapist too. Holy shit. How old is the babysitter, Robert? Let's get it on the record. What did you say? Cooney knew then she had to speak, so this summer she went public with her story and how Kennedy, a man close to her father, age really... Oh, she was 13. Oh, no, she wasn't. I thought she was 13. She was 23. So that's okay. It's fine. I thought she was 13. Then I'd be like, you can't rape her. She's 23. It's okay. All right. You got me this time, Robert. Why are you raping a 23-year-old possibly? You shouldn't be doing that. You should be getting guy babysitters. If I ever had a kid, I'd get guy babysitters because then I'm like, you think I'd fuck that? I ain't gay. Anyway, so he may have raped his babysitter. That's fucked up. On May 12, 2010, Kennedy filed for divorce from Richardson. Why? if we want to talk about how fucked up that marriage was with him and his wife that he may have killed, and I'm going to say he may have killed her because Robert F. Kennedy and everybody in Trump's cabinet throws so many accusations and random conspiracies that we have a new one. Did Robert F. Kennedy kill his wife? Robert F. Kennedy Jr.? Possibly, right? Who knows? Vaccines might be bad and Robert F. Kennedy Jr. might have killed his wife. Did he do it physically, or was it indirectly where he was doing crazy making to her?
On May 12th, 2010, Kennedy filed for divorce from Richardson. 3 days later, she was arrested and charged for driving under the influence. A court ordered that full temporary custody of her children be granted to her estranged husband. On May 16, 2012, Richardson was found dead at her home in Bedford, New York. Her death was ruled a suicide by hanging. An autopsy revealed that she had antidepressants in her blood. Before her death, Richardson had discovered Kennedy's personal journal from 2001, which he recorded his sexual encounters with 37 different women. According to Kennedy, Richardson passed the journal along to her sisters with instructions that if anything happened to her, it should be published to the press. If you were going to kill yourself, why wouldn't you just leak the journal to the press yourself? It sounds like she thought something may happen to her, as opposed to her doing something to herself. Right? That's fucking sketchy, dog. So this is NBC News right here. The body of late Mary Richardson... Actually, when was this? This was in 2012, so this is right after it happened. The body of late Mary Richardson Kennedy, the estranged wife of Robert F. Kennedy Jr., was exhumed last week and moved from its original spot among the Kennedy clan. The coffin containing her remains were transferred 700 feet away and reburied in an empty part of the St. Francis Xavier Cemetery in Centerville, Mass. No marker currently identifies her gravesite. He didn't even put a marker there yet. He doesn't care. Gravedigger Frank McKee, who oversaw the plot switch, told the New York Daily News that Kennedy wanted to move his wife to an area where the Kennedy family is now negotiating to buy 50 more plots. Robert didn't realize how crowded the area was until after the funeral, and he wanted to have the ability to lay his wife to rest among her family members. He opted for an area of the cemetery where there was room for future expansion. At the time of her death, Mary's siblings sued Kennedy to have her buried in Westchester, New York, closer to where her 4 children live. But Kennedy won in court, and she was buried near Kennedy's aunt and uncle, Eunice and Sergeant Shriver. So, if you don't think he's a piece of shit from all the other stuff, that's really shitty. He divorced her, said all these horrible things about her to the court. And then the family's like, well, we want her to move next to have our family be able to see her. And he's like, no. And then moves her to where, you don't have a say. You divorced her. You don't get to have a say anymore. That's shitty, right? That's insane. That's an evil man. That's a really evil, fried testicle looking man. Absolutely monstrous behavior from him. Mary's siblings reportedly weren't made aware of that their sister was uprooted and moved to a different part of the cemetery close to its entrance. So they didn't even know. So she kills herself, and then the family's like, we want her to be buried where we can see her. And then he's like, no. And he wins the battle in court, buries her in a place that he wants. And then he realizes, oops, this is too crowded. Digs her up without them knowing, and then moves her to another spot where he wants to buy 50 plots around it so that they can just have a big piece of land and he can just bury all the Kennedys there. So the family says, we were unaware of this. We were not informed about it. Patricia Hennessy, the Richardson family's lawyer, told the Daily News, Hennessy represented the Richardsons in their attempt to have Mary buried closer to her children's home. Attorney Steve McSweeney, who represented Kennedy in court, declined to comment. So he didn't even want to say anything. He's like, yeah, this is kind of gross. Do you want to say anything, Steve? No, yeah, I'm just getting paid by the Toxic Avenger looking man. Mary, 52, hanged herself at the family's estate in Bedford, New York. In May, her divorce from Robert, who delivered the eulogy at her funeral, was still pending. Oh, so they didn't even get divorced yet. Her death followed 2 difficult years during which she battled drug and alcohol addiction. Her husband filed for divorce, and she was charged twice with driving while intoxicated. The autopsy revealed that there were at least 3 antidepressants in her blood when she died. Her autopsy report also revealed that her fingers were caught between her neck and the noose, struggling
Did she want to do it or did he do it? Who knows? Are vaccines bad for you? Who knows? Her autopsy report also revealed that her fingers were caught between the neck and noose when she was found dead, perhaps indicating that she may have changed her mind about hanging herself at the last minute. Or, possibly, he killed her. One of the two. Robert, no! And then when it was around her neck, he probably got even more mad because she sounded like him. Right? Like, Robert, no! And he's like, I'm gonna kill you. That's what it sounded like in the room, probably, if he did kill her. In early June, the Richardson family responded to accusations about Mary's behavior made by Robert in court affidavit from the Kennedy's divorce case. Kennedy claimed his wife beat him, threatened suicide in front of her children, ran over the family dog, and drank until she passed out. So if she ran over the dog, did he go to... Is there any state record of this? Wouldn't you go to court? If you ran over my cat, I would take you to court. You know what I mean? You ran over my cat. If you did it on purpose, like, there's going to be a public record of this. Is there a public record of this? Or do you just be like, oh, it's just a dog? It's his word against the dead woman's. And I would trust a dead woman over Lyie McLyingface Robert F. Kennedy Jr. It also asked the judge for an order of protection to keep her from physically attacking him, showing up uninvited at his home. Homes, plural. He has multiple. Denigrating him in front of their children, and asked that Mary be required to remain sober in front of their children. The Richardson family slammed Kennedy's account of their relationship, saying it was full of vindictive lies. And guess what? I trust Richardson's family over Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Even his own family doesn't like him. This is an evil man, an evil ghoul-looking man. And also, he sounds evil, too. Like, if I made a cartoon in the 80s, and like the bad guy, what would I want him to sound like? Probably Robert F. Kennedy Jr., right? I can't believe you turtles would do this. Sounds like Krang from fucking Ninja Turtles, right? They look identical. They sound identical too. What does Krang sound like? Hold on.
That's quite a brain you've got, Krang.
Of course it is. It's all I've got.
Hey! Why'd you do that?
Because I enjoy seeing both people and animals suffer. And you, my friends, are both.
Has anybody said that yet? He sounds exactly like Krang from Ninja Turtles. Oh my god. I never even thought about that. I was just making a joke. He literally sounds like Krang. I'll get you, turtles. Vaccines are bad for you, and I'll rape my babysitter. Okay. Well, anyway, so the Richardson family thinks there's some fucky business going on with that marriage, divorce, and suicide attempt. So I think that's pretty much all we have to say about that. One of the best things we can do is we can go to his YouTube channel. He has his own YouTube channel, and he'll just tell us who he is. He'll tell us who he is. This video is called Who is Bobby Kennedy? And it's on his YouTube channel, so you know it's going to be the truth, right? Let's see. Let's see how he starts the video.
He is nuts and clearly disturbed. The standard. He's angry, Vanity Fair. His own family hates him.
That's true. His own family does hate him, yep. Okay. Well, he's right so far. Where does this go? Did he give us all the information right off the rip? It was great.
He sounds like he's transmitting from another galaxy. He is so crazy.
Is that because of his voice, or is that because he's crazy too? It sounds like another galaxy because of his voice as well.
Kennedy is a humorless bully living in a paranoid fantasy, Vanity Fair.
That's true too. It's all the brainworm. He is living in a paranoid fantasy. Vanity. We're gonna look up all these articles.
Tell Smokey that's true.
Yeah, he's like,
Yeah, I'm getting ahead of it.
they think I'm crazy. They don't even know I may have killed my wife. They're not even bringing that part up. Is he gonna read a line like that? Robert F. Kennedy Jr. may have killed his wife. New York Times. He ain't gonna read that line, right? You don't want anybody thinking about that. Did any of the people at the fucking Senate hearing fucking bring up that at all? They should have. Robert, did you kill your wife? Is that they're like, that's a low blow. That's not a low blow. That's a question I have for somebody. They did it to fucking Clinton when he got a blowjob. All he did was get a blowjob. He didn't kill that woman. He got a blowjob. I'm like, did you blow that? Did you get a blowjob? And he's like, ooh. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. goes up there like, So vaccines, come on, they're fine, right? But really, if I was up there, I'd be like, did you fucking kill your wife? You piece of, why did you move her grave? Why are you jotting down all the sexual shit you do with people? 37 different women. You wrote down every fucking detail? Sicko? Did you rape your babysitter? Did you do that? These are the questions I have.
What the is wrong with Bobby Kennedy?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
They hand it to him.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
He just eats the paper.
He's a walking, talking conspiracy theory.
Yep.
The New York Times.
Mm-hmm.
He's completely divorced from reality.
Mm-hmm.
The Guardian. He is vile. The White House. Being with him was a low point of my summer. Then.
Was that the babysitter? Being with him was the low point of my summer.
Bobby Kennedy speaks with a croaking, rasping, painful-sounding voice. His vague explanation is that it's a virus. But more likely, it is a crack pipe voice. The standard. Kennedy is a crank, in the New York Times. He is a crank, the New York Times. He's a crank who cranks out whoppers the way Taylor Swift disgorges perfect pop songs, the New York Times. He has conversations with dead people, the Guardian. I wouldn't vote for that guy either.
All right, so there it is, everybody. That's what he's told you who he is. How much longer is that? 1 minute? We don't need any more. That's about it. Thank you, Bobby. I thought you were just going to hide from all the fucking things that are true about you, but those are all true. So, who is Bobby Kennedy? Well, what if he's not crazy? Yeah, I would like to live in that world too, but unfortunately we don't. Unfortunately, we live in the world where he is crazy.
And in charge.
Yeah, he's actually running the fucking health show. This sucks. Should we talk about the registry for autistic people? Yeah. He has a registry for autistic people. I'm scared. Bobby Kennedy. Oh, I just put RFK. RFK Jr. Registry. Autism. Okay. So this is CBS News. RFK Jr.'s autism study to amass medical records of many Americans. Also, there's a thing called HIPAA where we're not supposed to be, we don't have to give our fucking medical information out. This is violating that. Like, this is a party of fucking freedom. They take away freedoms from everybody. They want your medical data now. What if you even get tested for autism? You're like, well, let me see if I have any autism. Then you're probably on this fucking registry, right? So he's trying to collect people. And also, the Trump administration is so fucking sick that the Nazis behind the thing, because he's just a crazy retard. The Nazis behind it are actually running the show. They would love to get these registries of people. They want voter registries. They want registries of people, medical stuff. They want registries of like which like protests you went to, whatever, so that they can deem you an undesirable and hopefully send you across into South America. You know what I mean? Off site. That's legitimately what they actually want to do. And if you don't think so, you're burying your fucking head in the sand. This is actual, like I don't know why we're not out all on the fucking streets about this shit. This is insane. It's gone on too fucking far. We should be in the fucking streets. Should be another goddamn 2 million man march in fucking Washington, D.C. showing these people, like, we can't have this. I don't know why we can't get this organized. It's so nuts. Anyway, the National Institute of Health is amassing private medical records from a number of federal and commercial databases to give Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. new effort to study autism, and NIH's top official said Monday. The new data will allow external researchers to pick for Kennedy's autism studies to study comprehensive patient data with broad coverage of the U.S. population for the first time, NIH Director Jay Badakakaface said. The idea of the platform that is existing data resources are often fragmented and difficult to obtain. The NIH itself will often pay multiple times for the same data resource. Even data resources that are within the federal government are difficult to obtain. He said, we have autism research stuff. If you believe in freedom, you should believe in the fact that you should be able to opt in to research or opt out of research. And Robert F. Kennedy Jr., because he's a fucking idiot who may have killed his wife and raped his babysitter, says he wants to know if you have autism. Like, bro, you should be on registry lists if you fucking voted for Trump. After fucking 2016. If you voted for him twice after that, you're sick fuck. You should be on the autism registry list. You have something worse than autism, I would say. I would take 150 billion autism people over one of you. And also, anybody that like is in this fucking this administration, I don't want you making any registry lists. Because the last time people like you made a registry list, we got about 6 million people died because of those registry lists. History repeats itself, everybody. Oh yeah, he thinks autism is a preventable disease right here. It says advocacy groups and experts have called out Kennedy for describing autism as a preventable disease. Like, you have a kid, you want your first fucking kid, and then all of a sudden it comes out it has like autism. And you're like, oh, we have to deal with this. This is a very hard decision. Then Kennedy comes out and said, you did something wrong. You could have prevented that from happening. Fuck you, Kennedy. You know, you could have prevented it from happening. Your wife getting murdered, possibly. You could have prevented that. That babysitter from possibly getting raped. You could have prevented that, Kennedy. I feel like you could have. That's my theory. Did you rape your babysitter and kill your wife, Kennedy? Why are we talking about autistic people? We have more skeletons in the closet for you, buddy. He's trying to divert all the attention away. He's trying to like have some other boogeyman or whatever. Like, I'm not the boogeyman. The autistic people are. You could have prevented her by suicide from fucking, I don't know, not cheating on her or like not marrying her, because that's not the type of guy you want to marry at all. Imagine her having to listen to him. Jesus Christ. Yeah, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. He's a hypocrite. He's a big old hypocrite. The brainworm has been telling him that red food dye is bad. And I think that's the one time that the brainworm was right. You know what I mean? Like, usually the brainworm tells him to drink raw milk and swim in shit water. Fucking not get vaccine. Well, actually, no, he does get his kids vaccines. And then he tells other people not to get vaccines. But this is one thing where I would agree with him that this is bad, this red and yellow food dye. But well, let's let him talk about it. Here we go.
This is what most Americans innocently put into their bodies these days, and most alarmingly, into the bodies of their children.
Well, is he trying to get rid of Captain Crunch? Is all fucking all him? No, I'm just fucking kidding. Is he gonna kill me like his fucking wife? Kidding again. He may have killed his wife. May have. Not. Anyway.
And it's no coincidence that Americans die earlier than Canadians or Germans or Italians or Japanese or Koreans or Australians or most any other comparable country. And it wasn't always that way. Until the early 1990s, our life expectancy was the same or better than other developed countries. Then suddenly, more and more Americans began suffering from chronic diseases, from obesity, cancer, diabetes, kidney disease, Alzheimer's.
But this is not just from the red and yellow food dye, though. It's because we like got farther into cheaper, ultra processed food. That's like a big part of it, is like we have ultra processed food all over the place. You know what I mean? Which is like, it's fine to eat once in a while, but like in the 90s, what were they doing? They were like feeding you like, oh, trick cereal for breakfast. It's like, well, that's not good. You know what I mean? Sugary vitamins, that's your daily fucking intake. Or like Smucker's fucking peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. Milk with so much. Do you know how much sugar is in fucking milk? We shouldn't be drinking milk. Like, it tastes good, it works and stuff, but like we shouldn't be drinking that on the daily.
Our maternal mortality rate soared to the highest of any developed country on Earth. Same with infant mortality. Like the frog in the slowly boiling water, we didn't really...
Like a frog in slow boiling water. Is that the water you were drinking with your kids on fucking Mother's Day? Look at that. Look at that shit.
How in the world did this happen? A big part of it is our diet. Restaurants that serve contaminated food are fined or shut down. But when it's the government that approves the poisons in our food...
What do you mean? What do you mean poisons in our food? These are your people. You're eating McDonald's. That's it. That's the health administrator right there. He's like, McDonald's, I got McDonald's. Robert, what do you want for a McDonald's? Okay, he wants a Big Mac with fries. Yeah, it's a Coca-Cola, and nobody else has Coca-Cola, so he ordered that himself. Robert, Bobby, Bobo, what are you doing, brother? Did you think about this being posted on the internet? Like when he's like, Oh yeah, I'll get in a photo with you guys. It's like people are like, wait, what are you doing? You're the food guy. Food's bad for you and killing you guy.
Doritos, Cheez-Its, Captain Crunch, gummy bears. Everyone knows that these are junk foods, so maybe you
pretending to read. You don't know how to read.
To see that the ingredients include a lot of poisons, including a harmful yellow dye called tatrazine, or yellow dye number 5. What you may not know is that this dye was originally made out of the sludge that's left over when you turn coal into coke for blast furnaces. It's called coal tar, and
So like he's telling people not to eat this yellow food dye, but then he's drinking raw milk and like telling people not to get vaccines. Fuck. Like, shut up. How about that? Shut up. Okay, we got another one here. He's telling you don't eat these foods, but RFK Jr. champions cod liver oil as measles remedy while refusing to back vaccines. Why are we listening to this guy? Why are we like, honestly, if he like, I know yellow food dye isn't good for you, but like now I think it might be good for you because Robert F. Kennedy Jr. says it's bad for you. Usually whatever Robert F. Kennedy Jr. says, I do the opposite and think the opposite. Because I'm like, well, that guy's a lying idiot. Clearly, that's false. So now I think we should be putting yellow food dye in everything, actually. I'm going to go buy, can I buy a bunch before it gets taken off the shelves? That might be the cure. That might be the cure for measles, Robert. Who knows? So he's a hypocrite. He's a fucking, like, this is what I was saying about like these people like trust the science when it's convenient for them. And then when it's not, they're like, well, what about the other scientists? Oh, like the 1,000 people that you got to write a fucking letter. You know what I mean? And then you say, oh, doctors did this. It could be a doctor, it could be a foot doctor telling you that vaccines are bad. My doctor said. I was like, what kind of doctor is it? It's a foot doctor. Why would I listen to that foot doctor? I didn't ask about feet. I asked about virology. So all these fucking idiot piece of shit comedians that have fucking shit ass podcasts like Rogan, Theo Vaughn, that think like they are not just like idiots. They think like they have something to say and like can move and shake society. They all had Robert F. Kennedy Jr. on, and Rogan was stupid enough to be like, "Oh, actually, we'll vote for him," until he bent his knees to Trump and opened up and gobbled that fucking yellow orange cum, the Trump cum. You could sell that. I could get a jar of like condensed milk and sell that to these fucking Trump supporters. It's Trump cum. And he'd be like, oh, I'd buy that and drink it. So if you don't know who Theo Vaughn is, good for you. Theo Vaughn sucks. He has always sucked. I have a friend that was like, he used to be funny. He was never funny. He's terrible. His bit is like, he's basically Larry the Cable Guy for nowadays. You know what I mean? I had a friend, I used to do cocaine. Fuck you. But yeah, this is, if you don't know Theo Vaughn, this will tell you all you need to know about Theo Vaughn is that he's saying more shows added. Greenville, South Carolina, Huntsville, Alabama, and Atlanta, Georgia. 2 nights in Atlanta, Georgia. So that kind of tells you what kind of crowd he has. So he had to cave to Trump and RFK. And Theo Vaughn is, there's actually, we'll show footage of Theo Vaughn. If you don't know who he is, here's some footage of him right now.
Jason, drop the photo.
See what he did to that guy? I'm doing an editing trick. I'm just still here. But the video that I just showed here in post is Theo Vaughn choking a guy for saying something to him. It's pretty pathetic, Theo. Couldn't you stop it with if you were a comedian, couldn't you just joke it away? Aren't you witty enough to be like, come at him with a joke? No, you're not, because you're not funny. So you choke the guy.
He's an author. He's an attorney. He's an environmentalist.
He's a murderer. He's a rapist. Allegedly. You gonna bring up that, Theo? Theo's not gonna bring that up. I'll be like, so your wife dying, that wasn't you, right?
He's a dear friend, and I'm grateful for his time. Today's guest is Robert Kennedy Jr.
Look at all these people laughing. He's so funny.
I'll sit and tell you my story.
How long is your fucking intro, dude? It's just a podcast. This is when you know you don't know shit about anything. You just fucking put fucking Lowe's trees there. Is this Between Two Ferns with fucking Zach Galifianakis? This is the same fucking thing. RFK, are you going to bring up that he's promoting Celsius? Because Theo Von has a Celsius deal. That's killing Americans.
What's in his cup?
Oh, that's poop water from the place he likes to swim in. Oh, he is an environmentalist. Yeah, he gets a plastic cup. He didn't even live his own values.
Even if I feel anything too much, it's like I feel like
Celsius facing the camera. Are you going to say anything about this? Also, you guys, Rainn Wilson's book right here. Did you read that, Theo? You didn't know how to read. Theo don't know how to read.
Because are humans part plants too? Do you think?
No. Although the microbiome has a lot of plants, and I guess it's part of our body, and it's a plant, I suppose. But
look at Celsius behind RFK.
We are definitely we're a zoonotic species rather than a plant species.
Dang. Yeah, sometimes I guess I feel like a plant. Or I don't know, if I sit by a window, I feel good. You know, if somebody comes up and smells me, if I smell good, I feel good, I guess. So that's kind of like a flower, maybe. I don't.
Who is listening to this? Who's like, I can't wait for the new Theo Von episode. Are we like plants? Yeah, sometimes you just got to go out in nature. We're like plants. Hey, you're right, Theo. I'm going to be at your show in South Carolina, Theo. I think you're the funniest fucking person on the planet, Theo. Look at him. He's like, this guy's dumber than me. There's fucking chicken neck on this guy. I don't trust anybody telling me about health with that chicken neck. You don't know shit about health. When you lie, like every wrinkle in his neck is from a fucking lie that he's told. That's what happens when you lie. That's what my mom told me. When you lie, you get wrinkles. Look at how many fucking lies he's told. Here's Theo Von talking to fucking a boiled testicle.
I've been staying pretty busy. I'm trying to think of what's been going on.
Have you been in Nashville?
Yeah, I've been over there a decent amount, you know.
Has this guy been to Nashville? Look at him. Like, when is he not at Nashville? He like basically lives in Nashville. It's the only place he can get laid. They look at him like, you're about right.
He's a Nashville 10.
Yeah, he's a Nashville 10. I would say, yeah.
He's a Nashville 9.
I'd say he's a Nashville 4. He's a tiny little guy.
It's really nice. One of the things that I like best there, I have the best neighbors there. My neighbors are really nice. And it still has a really small, it has a small town vibe. Like, you couldn't cheat on your wife there. That's what I tell people. You could not do it. I mean, you could. He
knows about cheating on his wife. Like, you couldn't cheat on your wife there. And he goes, I could. He's thinking about all those 37 women he wrote about their pussies and stuff in his book. Look at him. He's thinking about those 37 women and the one that he may have raped.
I think a lot of people have tried, but you could. It's just, there's too much. It still has like that, a little bit of that Southern gossip vibe, you know?
Yeah. Do you have like a little?
He's changing the subject. He ain't gonna go into that bit. I don't know anything about that. Have you ever seen that movie? Completely separate.
Nothing too fancy. I mean, it's a nice home, but it's nothing like, I don't have like a water slide or anything, you know, or anything like that, or like a.
This is the everyday man, Theo Von. This is the guy that he's just like me. And when you ask him, he's like, oh, I don't have a big house. I don't have a water slide or anything. He's like, I have a big house, but I don't have like a water slide or anything. You're like, what? Why is that the first thing that comes to your fucking head? Like, he's like, no, I know people that literally have like tons of like a water slide that goes from their window, their 3rd story window out to the pool. So I'm not that rich. Like, to me, it's like, you're rich if you have a house. Wait, hold on. Can we just appreciate Theo Von's face right here? This is how I think. Like, when I think of Theo Von, I think of this. This is Theo Von right here. He's also part of like the Illuminati, the Trump Illuminati now. Yeah. Oh yeah. 100%. He was at the fucking inauguration. All these podcasters, they like talk about, oh, the system, man, is trying to get you. They are the system now. Like, they're literally in the government pretty much at this point. This is state funded media now. At this point, There's like North Korean news, basically. If you watch these podcasts, I'm not kidding. This is basically what it is. You know what the Great Reset is?
So in the World Economic Forum, meets in Davos. It's a billionaires boys club. They meet in Davos.
It's a billionaires boys club. Can you think of any other billionaires boys club? He's trying to talk shit about a billionaires boys club. What about all of Trump's cabinet? What about the Rogan sphere? He was just in a picture with fucking Elon Musk and Donald Trump eating McDonald's in a private jet. What are you talking about, billionaires boys club? That's you. Also, you grew up with like 50 silver spoons in your mouth. What are you talking? This guy don't know shit about like normal life. That's the thing. Like, he's criticizing the billionaires boys club, but then all of a sudden, once he has a seat in the cabinet, then the billionaires we don't talk about them anymore. Okay.
Every year, and they try to figure out what their plans are for the rest of humanity.
Are they greedy?
I would say they have a bad reputation for very self-serving policies. Their big policy is called the Great Reset. And what
the Great Reset is not a policy. It's some sort of like theory that they have, and it's so fucking vague. All these crazy people talk about the Great Reset and it's like this vague thing that somebody said at the Economic Forum once. That's it. It's so vague. I can't even tell you. It's like, we're going to systematically change everything so that you own nothing and we own everything. It's like, it's whatever they want it to be. That's what the Great Reset is. Nobody has any proof that the Great Reset thing is happening. Actually, we have proof that the Great Reset is happening with Trump. He's purposefully crashing the economy, and then all the billionaires are buying the stocks at very low prices, and then he announces tariffs, it crashes, and then he gives them and other senators heads up when the tariffs are going to be replaced. And then all of a sudden they make tons of money off the stock. You're doing it. How many people's 401ks are totally fucked right now, and then other people made tons of money off of it? You're the Great Reset. You reset the economy in a bad way.
Here's Klaus Schwab says, famously, he says, under the Great Reset, you will own nothing, but you will be happy. So that's what
they believe. So they do have a belief. Their belief is that you will own nothing, but you'll be happy.
All of us will own nothing, but they will, because they will own everything. And they may be a little happier. Who knows?
Wow.
Is he implying that if this went through, if this was a real thing and it went through, that RFK Jr. would own nothing as well, just like the rest of us? You're in the administration, RFK. Like, you have tons of money. You're not like us. They think he's like an everyman too. Like, oh, he's just like us. He's all red and he has a chicken neck. This is it. Theo Vaughn's like, I won't own anything too. Theo, you'll own tons of shit. You have tons of money. People don't like understand these podcasters are making a shitload of money on this stuff. Like, how many sponsorships do they have? How many times you get ad reads? The money from YouTube itself. Not all the videos are demonetized. They should be, because the guy sucks. He shouldn't be making any money off of this. Celsius deal. You know what I mean? Like, you have you're shaking hands with Trump and fucking Rogan and shit like that. You're doing tours in fucking arenas. Who's going to an arena to see fucking Theo Vaughn? That's a sad life, if you ask me. I'm going to see Theo Vaughn today. Oh, do you have brain damage? Did you just get out of a coma and like it doesn't work? And you see Theo Vaughn, you're like, that's a comedian. Remember when comedy was good?
Episode is brought to you by BetterHelp. If you
He's like, just go to BetterHelp and get your head all straight. Because the people can't afford a therapist because we don't have. Why isn't RFK Jr. talking? Okay, if he really cares about health, why isn't he talking about fucking universal health care of some sort? We've already figured this out in the Nordic countries. Even some other fucking Eastern Asia and shit have fucking universal health care. Like, what? You don't give a shit. He'd be out there like being like, we have to do tax paid health care. Like, figure it out so that everybody can get health care. No, he just wants to take away your cereal. Well, look at Theo Vaughn. He's just like, I got to read another ad. I don't care. I have no more soul left.
You need therapy.
Look, he has this fucking smiley face on his shirt to remind himself how he used to feel before all this money and fame, before he sold himself to the devil. Look at this. You want to see Theo Vaughn? Okay, we're almost done with this, but look at this. With Jake Paul. That's your boy. Oh, no, he's at the inauguration too. Yep. Look at him right there. What an evil fuck. So RFK Jr. went on Bill Maher's podcast like a year ago. This is when he was doing the rounds on all the podcasts. And Bill Maher is like a fucking complete moron. But and he thinks he's the smartest man on the planet. Club Random is a great show. It's so good. He's such an asshole. But they're gonna agree on something here, that like Bill Maher is always on his health kick. He's like, pizza's bad for you, and the world's unhealthy, and like all this stuff. And it's like, just who cares? You can eat Pringles sometimes. Like, what are you doing? RFK like gets in these people's heads because he talks about like certain things like yellow food dye and all these things that are bad for you, but then he inserts like raw milk is good for you and vaccines are bad, and then you think all that's happening too, when it's really like, no, broken clock is right twice a day. You know what I mean? Is he gonna ask him if he killed his wife? Are any of these people gonna ask him if he killed his wife?
Look, if you're gonna make this campaign happen, the one thing that they're never gonna stop talking about is vaccines. And, you know, you have to answer for Santino on the Causeway. People are going to want to know. And look, I have taken a lot of shit for being, you know, what a lot of people call a anti-vax.
Why does this look like shit so much? It doesn't look like that anymore, does it? This looks really bad. It's like, am I in 1080? Okay, well, let's go to 1080. No, it still looks compressed as fuck.
But they like to move the goal.
Oh my God.
Make you worse.
Bill, how much money do you have? And this is what you upload?
Wow, outlier. And no, I'm very much on the page, and people know this, of like, I was not on board with how we handled COVID.
But what was your evolution? When did you say, hey,
a long time ago. I was on 60 Minutes, quoted me like in 2009 or something, saying I wouldn't get a flu shot. Not because I don't believe.
I'm not talking about vaccines so much.
Bill Maher wouldn't get a flu shot? Bro, I've had like multiple flu shots, and like besides me having cancer and like having autism, there's nothing wrong with me. Right? Like, you grew another arm, but outside of that, now you have 3 arms. So like you can play the actual N64 controller like how it's supposed to be played now. Vaccines are fine. We're X-Men now. No, really, does Bill Maher like is afraid of the flu vaccine? The biggest pussies on the planet. Like, if you were afraid of vaccines, you're a fucking pussy, dude. You really are. Absolute pussy. Has anybody said that yet? Really? That's how you get them to take the vaccines. Be like, you're a fucking wimp ass pussy.
Where I think we are not on the same page is I don't believe all vaccines are bad. There are some vaccines I would want.
You just pick and choose which vaccines you want? That one's not bad for you. If they had a fucking cancer vaccine, he would take it. No questions asked. If you had a cancer vaccine, all these fucking idiots would take it. Like, literally, this is the cancer vaccine. This will kill all cancer. You'll never have cancer. They'd take it. No, that one's fine. If there was a vaccine where you wouldn't need dick pills anymore, RFK would take it. Right? 100%. I don't think that's like can rape another babysitter.
And it was the same issue that, you know, it's an issue of corporate capture. It's an issue of government agencies being subverted and democracy being subverted and government.
That's the issue. He just nailed it on the head of what the administration that he's in is doing. Our government agencies are being subverted. What, like the fucking crazy drunk guy that's running the fucking Department of blah blah blah, fucking FBI head who looks like a psychopath? The baby Gerald, the guy, fucking Tulsi Gabbard, running the intelligence agency. That's the subversion of our fucking agencies, dude. Then he's like, oh, democracy being subverted. What, like Trump trying to steal the election and say that it was stolen? If Robert F. Kennedy Jr. had any fucking self-respect when Trump asked him, because all he wants is power, that's it, right? And it's proven, because if he thinks democracy is being eroded and the agencies are being subverted, when Donald Trump said, I'll have you be in the cabinet, he'd be like, no, because you're trying to erode democracy. But he doesn't give a shit about any of that stuff. He just wants power. So he's like, yeah, I'll be in it.
Because their children suffered vaccine injuries, or, you know, let's put it neutrally, that they believe their children had suffered vaccine injuries. And I was just somebody who believed that you should listen to the women who were, you know.
If I may, as the moderator, just for anyone listening who's the super skeptic type, vaccine injuries or that is a fact that there are vaccine injuries. That's why there's a vaccine court. Vaccines are a medical intervention like so many other drugs.
Do you know what vaccine injuries are? It's people that are allergic to things in the vaccine. There are vitamin injuries. There are cat injuries and dog injuries.
So we don't say they're bad because we know they have side effects, but we just have to admit, first of all, that they do have side effects. Hopefully not bad, hopefully not all. We can debate what they are, but let's start from, yes, vaccines, like any other drug, have side effects and serious side effects. And now let's have the debate about how widespread is that? See, that's, I think, someplace where we part. I think you think the vaccine injuries from COVID vaccine.
Yeah, he's like drinking booze and smoking pot and then being like, vaccines have injuries. It's like, how many people die from alcohol-related deaths a year? Okay, Bill. And then he's going to say, like, this is where we part, though. I think vaccines are fine, generally. But he's afraid of the flu vaccine? It's like one of the most simple vaccines.
Did more damage than I do.
Well, see, I don't have thoughts except I see the science. I'm a person who...
Well, there's a lot of... You can read statistics many ways. And you can cherry pick and leave things out, which is what they do.
And that's why you need to read science critically to make sure that's...
RFK Jr. is not reading science. He's not reading these fucking papers. He doesn't he's not reading like the actual like analysis of it and stuff like that. He's probably reading an excerpt. He's not reading the whole paper and being like, oh yes, chemically that all matches up. But people saying they read the science of it. What are you talking about? Are you a scientist? Do you know how to fucking decipher all that information that's in there? Because there's a lot of weird math in there and stuff like that like chemists know and everything. You know what I mean? What are you talking about? I read the science of it. I was on heroin and raping my my babysitter. No, you didn't. No, you stop lying. I like that. People said, like, I've read the science. Okay, give us some information on it, bud. You just have to read it.
Are those rare injuries? And CDC says, yes, they were very rare, 1 in a million. When CDC finally studied that question in a study called the Lazarus study, which was published.
I don't know how to spell Lazarus. The Advanced Clinical Decision Support for Vaccine Adverse Event Detection and Reporting. So this is literally what I just read about this. It did not say that they had adverse effects from the vaccine. This was just they had medical issues within 30 days after the vaccine, unrelated to the vaccine. Is he going to say that it's related to the vaccine?
The Lazarus study, which was published in Pediatrics, I think it was Pediatrics in 2010, and anybody can look this up. What they found is that the actual rate of injury was about, I think, 2.3%, which is 1 out of every 37 people.
That's not what it said. It said there wasn't an injury from the vaccine. It was literally 1 in about 40 people had a medical issue unrelated after getting the vaccine within 30 days. That's it. What a piece of shit. Is he that stupid, though, that he thinks it says that, or is he lying? That's the question I have. And is Bill going to call him out on this? He has Google right in his fucking hands. He could literally look it up right now. Hold on 1 second. I want these podcasters to do this from now on. When somebody says something that's wacky, pull out your phone. Hold on 1 second. What about this? It says that's not true. Yeah, why don't people do that?
Had injury claims that they made claims to their insurance company.
From what vaccine?
From all vaccines. The average injury rate is 1 in 37.
What is the range of that injury? I mean, if my arm swells up for a day, does that count as part of it?
It was injuries for which people made claims, medical claims.
Right.
And
doesn't mean that those medical claims are valid. And when people have looked at this, what they've said is a lot of the people who make claims, they don't let you know that they have some pre-existing condition.
Well, it's not even that. They were saying it's unrelated to the a lot of those were or all of them were unrelated to the vaccine. They just had medical issues in general. Oh, that's what Spuddy says. I'm gonna fucking rape my goddamn babysitter.
Yeah, but there's a listen. 54% of Americans have chronic disease.
Oh,
He's just gonna go into a totally different direction, right? He knows he's like, oh, Bill actually kind of knows about this a little bit. Actually, Bill doesn't, because Bill just says, was it swelling from the thing? Which is a good, if you don't look it up, that's a good way to fucking combat it. But like, you could look it up and just say it didn't say that at all. It didn't say this was related to the vaccine. Hold on, let's see him slug away or worm his way out of it. You get it? He's gonna the worm's gonna help him worm his way out of this one by going in a completely different direction. Is it brainworm? He has brainworm? Did I mention that?
Existing condition. So it could.
Well, yeah, but there's a listen. 54% of Americans have chronic disease.
Just throw out random statistics.
So, you know,
Right.
you're supposed to design the product for all the people, not just for the Avengers.
That's why you know where I am with you is I do not believe you can make me get a vaccine. You should not.
Yeah, it wasn't a state mandate to get the vaccine. It was just certain businesses were like, okay, well, we're not going to hire you because we don't want to get people sick and have people call out in our place. That wasn't the government telling you have to get a vaccine. I just wanted to show you the Fox News or something like that had a like, it was kind of like a Peeping Tom type of video, but they had an exclusive video. It was either Fox News or TMZ had an exclusive video of RFK going home after swimming in that lake, the one with the diseases. So we can see RFK right here going to his house. You guys want to see RFK's house? He's looking for his raw milk. There he is. That's RFK Jr. on Bill Maher's podcast. I mean, he looks better in this photo than the videos we were seeing. You know what I mean? It's like kind of a glow up for him, right? So, that's Robert F. Kennedy Jr. I don't think anything else needs to be said about him. He's kind of like a ghoul. This is the guy right here. That's him. How do we feel about him? He fucking sucks. He may have murdered his wife, possibly. He might have raped his babysitter. He won't see this. I don't think he does. I don't think he knows what YouTube is. But I will speak directly to him in the language that he understands. And Robert, if you do see this for whatever reason, I hope you take these words into consideration, because there's a lot of people that you're going to get hurt. So please heed my words. So, remember that. Legalize comedy.